Hello, everyone. Welcome to Leah Reviews. I'm your host, Leah, and this is going to be something very new I'm going to be doing for my YouTube channel this year, where I am going to be pretty much just like, reviewing like media, whether if it's anime or cartoons. And I wanted to, or any other media. So I am actually going to start with this new audio drama that was premiered yesterday, by the time of this recording, um, which was pretty much, what do you call it? It was premiered on Sam Procrastinates and Games Cage's like YouTube channels and Twitch channels as well. They were both given the opportunity to pretty much like premiere episode 0 of the Sonic the Hedgehog Presents the Chaotix Casefiles. So I am going to actually be reviewing both episode 0 and episode 1. So I think this is like the perfect opportunity to start with this because I think no one was expecting like an audio drama of like the Chaotix. And I think it's just like a perfect opportunity. Like the Chaotix are actually getting spotlight on this. So as you can see in the background, I have the thumbnail for episode 0. So we are going to start with episode 0. So I think how they start this, like they really lean in to the noir. If you know what the noir genre is, the noir genre is like, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was like somewhere like in the 1930s, but I could be wrong on that. So, but they really lean into having Vector, since he's the leader of the Chaotix, be narrating. And Keith Silverstein just nails it on all the levels on his narration. And I just love how they lean into how self-aware they are. Like literally it starts out where Vector is just narrating, and then Charmy is like, "Why are you saying this?" And it's like, "Why are you t saying everything about what we're doing, right?" So, and I just love how self-aware this was, and I want to give huge shout out to Sam Procrastinates and Games Cage because they were both given the opportunity by Sega themselves to basically premiere episode 0. So you both of you guys are amazing. Keep up the amazing content. I tuned in during Sam Procrastinate's stream of episode 0 yesterday. Of course by the time of this recording. And I really enjoyed it. I watched it with a few of my friends and we were laughing so much. I think, they really brought out the chaotics, and Vector, he he just does such a phenomenal job with everything that he has when he's narrating, and it really is just like wow, like the music is just phenomenal too in this audio drama. And I think what they've did for episode 0 for setting up what we are to expect in the upcoming episodes, I think it was just brilliant. I am a huge person into the mystery genre. So this was like this this audio drama just feels like it was catered to me. Because I grew up on Scooby-Doo. I love Scooby and the Gang. And having like something where it really leans into the mystery of the chaotics, you know, um, I think it's just brilliant. Sega has really outdone themselves. Episode 0, just phenomenal. I truly enjoyed episode 0. I think having them be self-aware, I think SBO pointed out first, where he's like, who are you talking to in there? Because Vector's in the bathroom. And he said, no one, no one. And once Charmy like says something, Vector gets out of the bathroom and Vector is doing his narration. And pretty much Charmy's like, why are you narrating everything that we're doing? Um, and Vector really breaks the fourth wall and he's like, oh my gosh. I was like, was I doing that out loud? So I think he did such a the hand like props to Keith Silverstein and Matthew Mercer and Colleen O'Shaughnessy. All three of them did such a great job, and being able to hear their voices, in this audio drama is just great. And like I just love the music. Charlie Rosin did such a phenomenal job with the music in this audio drama. And and for those who didn't know, both Sam Procrastinates and Games Cage actually did like a little short interview after the premiere of episode 0 yesterday with Charlie Rosin, and he actually is an award Grammy winner. So you can tell that he put so much dedication and love into this, like with the music. And it's actually revealed for those who don't know that literally, um, Rebecca Sugar, for those who are familiar with that name, she's actually the creator of Steven Universe, actually helped in writing the theme song for this audio drama, which really shocked me. And I'm pretty sure it shocked a lot of people. So that's why the theme song was just so phenomenal. And of course, I got to give shout out to Rebecca Sugar. She still got it because she she is well known for Steven Universe, and she has written for Adventure Time as well. So hearing that, like she really captured the vibe so well, and everything, was just it just felt like it was perfection in episode 0, and I kind of like with what they done with this. It's like I know at some point someone is going to make an animation of this because this is obviously just an audio drama, but I think they did pretty well with episode 0 with setting up the premise, and there were a lot of great funny moments. Another funny moment is Sonic comes in and he pretty much is like he just comes in to see if he can help them out with something. And and then Sonic mentions before he leaves, oh yeah, we actually have it's like, oh, you guys actually have a package here. And of course they're obviously surprised, like, really? We have a package to us? Really? That's interesting. So, so when they go and open it, a buzz bomber comes out and tries pretty much to attack them. And I think it was very shocking to hear that Vector just like crunches the buzz bomber. And I'm like, wow, that's it was something I was not expecting. But it was great. And then as soon as Vector's like, what did we learn? And then Charmy's like, never accept gifts from Sonic. And my friends and I, we laughed. We laughed at that line. Um, so the writing is just impeccable and great in this audio drama. So I think, episode 0 was just a great way. And then they decide, yeah, we're gonna go out for ice cream, and then basically, it kind of ends off obviously on a cliffhanger where they are like captured, and Sonic was there too, captured. So I think it was just a great setup, and you know, I am very curious to know who is the singer of the theme song, and then the theme song plays, and it's like, my gosh, like it's it's so satisfying. Like they really wanted to bring out the older like noir back in the day, and the music is just great. Um so I think, episode 0 was just phenomenal. It was just a great start. to do this, and I am very, very, very glad that they actually did this because I was not expecting this. And being able to tune into that interview that Sam Procrastinates did, like a very short one, obviously. And Charlie Rosin like literally said that Rebecca Sugar wrote the theme song, which is just really shocking. So I was very, very, very surprised with what they have done, and I think they just started off on such a great foot, and you are just like wondering, oh, where is this story going to you know where's this story going to go, right? Because this is an audio drama, and I gotta give it props to the actual voice actors. They all did great. Roger, Matthew, Keith, Colleen, they all did such an amazing job. And you can tell the voice direction is great in this audio drama, so you can tell the voice actors were given great voice direction. So it was a very, very, very powerful start to episode 0. So that's my review of episode 0. So let's go into actual episode 1, which is why I decided to change it to this one because they actually released episode 1 like today, like earlier today at like 9 a.m. PT. And I just found this out because of my YouTube notification. So episode 1 is pretty long. It's like I think like 25 minutes. So and for those, if you want to avoid spoilers, please be sure you go and watch it on YouTube before um you know before I get into this. So spoilers discretion. So basically, I think they start again with like Vector narrating, and obviously you see, well, we can't see it, but you hear Eggman, and like Sonic wakes up Vector, because Sonic got captured too, which is ironic. But I think with what they did I think it was, it's just another great continuation. Like it feels so episodic, and that's what they were going for. And I think with episode 1, they real like literally, like Vector decides to tell what happened, right? So he goes into his narration and how they end up getting how they yeah, and then Vector goes back into what he was like, where the cliffhanger ended on episode 0. So he talks about them getting ice cream and all that. So what he ended up doing was, um, they kind of talk about, oh yeah, we're gonna get ice cream, and then they happen to walk by, like I think like there was like a newspaper stand, and there's like huge, huge headlines where there's a lot of people reading the paper, and SBO decides to pretty much like sneak to get a copy of the paper. And apparently there was like a robbery at the museum. Um and what's funny is that Charmy literally tells SBO and Vector that, oh, wait, I have something to tell you. And then he forgets. And then this actually is important later. So what he ends up doing is that they end up sneaking into the museum because obviously it's swarmed by Gun. Yeah, apparently Gun is like, I don't know why, but they were like investigating a museum robbery of like a specific like artifact. And it's like, I think a lens or something. Like, or something like that. Yeah, a special lenses or something. So I think so they decide to go sneak in because obviously Gun's not letting anyone in, and they're trying to tell the citizens so like nothing to see here, folks. So basically they end up sneaking in and then they end up at the curator's like office. And it's funny. And then like the curator Kish, that's his name, he welcomes them. And then literally Charmy's like, "Oh yeah, this is what I need to tell you. While I was like flying away from you guys, I received a call from the curator and he wants us to investigate to see who stole the the lenses." And then Vector's like, "Bro, how could you forget this?" And Charmy's like, I was like, how is it's a good thing I didn't forget. I'm like, you did. So it was like just great funny moments like that. And basically, the curator shows them the security footage. And it's very interesting where the story is going. So what they do is that they see the security footage and they say, "Is that Knuckles?" And obviously Vector is like skeptical and he's like, it's like the Knuckles we know wouldn't just steal, something from a museum. Even though Vector is kind of like, yeah, he is an experienced treasure hunter, but he doesn't want to go and, obviously suspect Knuckles. And I think what ends up being funny is that they decide to visit Knuckles in Angel Island. And I was never expecting the Chaotix to have like a helicopter or something. And it was the most randomest thing ever, but that really adds to it. And obviously, Vector doesn't care if he doesn't have like a pilot's license, and SBO and Charmy are like freaking out, like, oh my gosh, oh no. So they land on Angel Island because they want to go and interrogate Knuckles to see, where he was, because obviously the according to security footage, it looks like Knuckles, you know. So they basically try to interrogate him, but Knuckles like calls him out about it, and he's like, "You guys need to work on your like interrogation skills." Like I was like, "Man, Knuckles, you didn't have to like roast them like that." So I think that was just great. Like it was just even though Knuckles was just being straight with them, you know, um, but it was interesting, so Vector's like, yeah, okay. We'll go back to the headquarters, back to the Chaotix Detective Agency headquarters, to regroup and all that. So they go, obviously they use the plane or helicopter to get back. Um and then I think they end up calling Tails to see if he would know something, about, because obviously Tails is the tech guy. So they go and contact Tails, and Tails is like, "Oh yeah, I heard about the robbery. So I am going." So literally Tails got in contact, which is a very mysterious character, which was in I think in the Tails tube, one of the more recent Tales Tube episodes. And Tails contacts Professor Tori to go to the Chaotix Detective Agency. So I'm like, oh, we're actually getting like more about Professor Tori. I'm like, that's interesting. Um so basically, Professor Tori, arrives at their, obviously at their HQ, and she kind of tells them what she knows. And I think it just added some interesting lore, because Professor Tori was definitely a mysterious character, um, and now we're getting more in this audio drama, and she provides them with what she knows. that apparently the artifact that was like stolen was pretty much what do you call it? It was yeah, it was part of like a second civilization. It's very vague, obviously, because they're talking about like this artifact came from like, an ancient civilization. I'm hoping we get more clarity in, obviously it's only episode one, so we're not gonna get all the information, but um she provides them with what they at least need to know. Um, and then obviously, I think with what they've done for episode one, I think it's a great way to start building it up of like, this is retracing the steps. And it was great to hear Professor Tori again. I like her character so far. And I think they did such a great job with that. Um, So, so it's building up to something. And I think they did such a great job. Like I said, there's a lot of great moments. I think when they contacted Tails, Tails was trying to speak, but each of the Chaotix were like interrupting him. And then Vector's like at the end of the conversation, like, dude, why did you just say that in the first place? And Tails was like, bruh, I was trying to speak until you guys kept interrupting me. So it was great to hear Tails in this too. So hearing Tails and Knuckles, you know, um, you know, like shout out to Colleen doing a dual role because she did both Tails and Charmy. So I think it was just great. Episode one, just phenomenal, and then I think it stops right there. And then we go back to present with like Eggman and Sonic, obviously. And the alarm goes off in Eggman's base, and like Eggman's like, why is my alarm going off? You know? And then he's like suspicious of like, why is my alarm going off? And then Sonic's like, why don't you go and check it? And Eggman's like, don't tell me what to do in my own base, Sonic. So I think that was great. And apparently, you know, um, uh, the mysterious figure who stole the artifact, obviously, for some reason, was impersonating Knuckles. And and now the Chaotix are going to try and figure out why was someone impersonating Knuckles, because obviously um Knuckles literally said so they basically showed Knuckles what the artifact looked like, and then he's like, yeah, I'm not interested in that stuff. So Vector's like, I think someone was trying to frame Knuckles. And I know there was a mention of Rouge, so I think that's what it was. But yeah, episode one, just very solid. I enjoyed it so much, and I'm super excited to see where this all goes. So, um, like I would say both episode zero and episode one, um, just phenomenal, just fantastic. And, I have to give it to the voice direction and the voice actors because they do such a great job. And I appreciate that we're getting some chaotics because um they don't get that spotlight they deserve, and this audio drama really puts them in the spotlight. So I am very happy that we got this audio drama. So I'm super excited to see how many episodes this audio drama will be because I am very curious because they're really building it up to something. And that, yeah, I'm very super excited. And of course, that's the end of my review for both episode zero and episode one. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in, to my first Leah reviews. And I felt this was like the perfect way to, start out my review videos. And I think, what they've done so far, I would totally laugh if they actually, just me, and this is my Scooby-Doo fan speaking in me. I would totally laugh if they literally reference Scooby-Doo of like whoever the villain is. I would love for the villain to say, and I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling chaotix or something to that degree. Because that would make the Scooby-Doo fan in me like, oh my gosh, they did it, they said it. So, but we'll see. I am super excited for upcoming episodes of this audio drama. And of course, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and turn on that bell notifications for upcoming live streams and video content coming to my YouTube channel. And of course, yeah, this is Leah signing off. Bye, everyone.